Hey everybody, I'm Mike Steele with BBQ Champs Academy, and we are got a great show lined up for everybody tonight with two world champion BBQ Pitmasters, Mr. Corey Mikes with Fat Boys Barbecue, and Smitty with Luton Booty Barbecue. Both of them are three-time world champions, and off two great finishes this past weekend at the American Royal, or weekend before, and we was trying to get them on last week, but it was just so tight coming back from the Royal and everything. And I said, look, take your time. Let everybody kind of chill out and catch your breath after it, and we'll get you on this week here. So we are certainly looking forward to hearing about the amazing results that they had. It was great for both of them. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a minute. But we felt like, because it's still fresh on everybody's mind, everybody always likes the American Royal. It's such a great competition to go to. It's just our big barbecue family all in one spot, and it's a lot of fun. So with that said, if y'all have questions for them, obviously I want you to ask, and we'll get into that here in just a little bit. Certainly want to thank everybody for being here. Especially want to thank our partners. I want to kind of go ahead and just jump right into that. We couldn't do what we do without you guys. And Danny at Be Extreme Barbecue, thank you so much for all your support over these last couple years. It's been truly great working with you. Also, the folks at B&B Charcoal. Seems like things are finally in the supply chains. I'm seeing more and more at the academy that I typically go to. So I think the supply chain is finally catching up. Also, good friend Brian Crawford at Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop. I know he carries Smitty's product. And almost every other product that's in our classes, we always appreciate Brian, and he's got some great products himself as Crawford Barbecue Pit Products. You need to check that out. Also, Papa Joe Grilling Supply in Hutto, Texas. Chuck and Vanessa, they're always so great to take care of anything that our people need that buy these classes from us. We certainly do appreciate them, and they're always here on board. And we'll talk a little bit about John Lindsay's new Sweet Thang rub that he's got. I saw those guys promoting it, that you can pre-order it from Papa Joe Grilling Supply. So if you're looking for John Lindsay's newest rub, Sweet Thang, I know Papa Joe Grilling Supplies is taking some orders for that. Also, if you're looking for some wicked sharp knives, Gunter Wilhelm has got some of the best knives on the market. I got a chance to visit with David for several hours when we was at the American Royal. Had a great time. And if you're looking for great knives, he's the cat to go to. Also, John Lindsay and Mr. Hottie Toddy himself, Ronald Burns, got their new website up, steakrubs.com. Be sure to check those guys out. And last but not least, my good buddy down in Hempstead, Texas, Dustin Stanley at the Barbecue Store. Once again, another one that has just stepped up. He's got about every single rub that we are using in our steak and barbecue classes. And if you're looking for somebody that will turn around and ship quick as well, all of these guys that we have on here, Lone Star, Papa Joe, and the Barbecue Store, I know they all have really great fast shipping times. So we appreciate every one of you. So without further ado, let's get into the folks that are coming aboard. Once again, there they are. I can always catch them, or always count on them being some of the first ones. Thank you for being here. Brandon, so great to have you, and Caitlin on here. Thank you as always. I always know that you're going to be loyal listeners. John, appreciate you being here. Rick, I tell you what, man, you've got it going on. I keep seeing you winning and winning and winning. And, man, what's up with these daughters of yours, man? You posted these 3 daughters. I was like, goodness gracious, they're so pretty. And just, I tell you what, I'd like to meet them at the Royal. They seem like they're really nice. I'm sure you're very proud of them. And you have just got an absolute amazing family. I tell you what, that's like a postcard material. I've joked around with Sonny Mooney one time. I was like, man, y'all need to be on a postcard. So, you know, some families have just got it, and, well, mine on the other side may not. So maybe my wife and my daughter, but not me. So anyway, but appreciate you being here, Rick. You've been absolutely on fire. Well, I know who this is, Mr. Gordon. We appreciate you being here as well. I think I saw you got a new trailer, if I recall, fixing to be your new steak wagon. And I know you're going to be excited. You've got the whole family out cooking now. You better be careful. You're going to make it too comfortable for your wife, and she's going to beat you all the time. So you better look out there. Paul, appreciate you being here. And Terry, Mr. Champ himself is with us. Thank you, Terry, for being here. I didn't see how the results went. I know you was in first place after last weekend. Let me know if you're still in first place, Champ. I tell you what, you've had a great run here in the last 3 months. So, Daniel, thank you for being here. Dirk, great visiting with you and Jody at the Royal. It was so good to have you guys around. And Suzette really enjoyed hanging out with Jody. It was a lot of fun. Monty, thank you for being here, man. Appreciate it. KD, thank you for being here and appreciate you buying another one of our classes today. Appreciate that much. Look who else we got here. Sterling's going to know this man, Mr. Kyle. Appreciate you being here. Candace, thank you for showing up. James and Erica both. Man, I tell you what, got both of y'all here. We appreciate it. And I think y'all are going to be cooking at the Texas Motorplex. So I look forward to seeing y'all. I don't know if James is probably going to cook. Erica's going to probably watch him mess up. I heard something about a brisket story the other day. I'll have to get Erica to tell me all the details on that. So anyway, let's see. Be Extreme. There's Mr. Danny. Thank you being here. Yes, Corey was raised to be a champion. No question. That guy's absolutely on fire. Sterling, Terry, yep, still in first place. That is awesome. Keep hanging in there, buddy. You've got it. Steve, we appreciate you being here. Chad, as always, thank you. And, yeah, James said, yep, laughing out loud. I'll get all the details on that. Hey, we got 40 people here, and folks are still showing up. Erica, I don't know. Are you going to cook Erica at the Motorplex, or we just got James? Because I hope you're going to just let him cook, and we don't have to worry about you so much. So I'm scared of you. I'm not so scared of him. So anyway. Oh, goodness. But if y'all got questions for either one of our guests tonight, please let us know. And I think we're going to have a great show. We certainly do appreciate everybody being here. Without further ado, let's dive on in and let's bring in Mr. Corey. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am doing great. We appreciate you being here. And we're going to go ahead and add, let's get the man in. Let's get Smitty in here as well. Mr. Smitty, Luton Booty Barbecue himself. 3-time world champions between each one of them, both of them. That's 6-time world barbecue champion between these two. And Corey, I know that you are excited to add another world champion to your resume after a couple weekends ago when he was at the American Royal. Absolutely phenomenal job. You told me that brisket was money. And when it was coming to the top, you was like, man, I'm hoping that brisket's going to be there. But, man, congratulations. A first-place brisket, 185 teams at the Invitational.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
A perfect 180 score. Another world champion. So I know now you've got one in ribs, you've got one in brisket, and chicken?
And chicken. I need a pork trophy to complete the collection.
Man alive.
I think I can live without the pork trophy if I can get that big one at the end, though.
Man, that is amazing that you get 3 different categories at the Royal.
Yeah, it's a blessing for sure. So,
yeah. And Sterling, we'll talk a little bit about you. You, another one, also a 3-time barbecue world champion as well. And, man, you and your YSB team, y'all put on a clinic for us on Saturday at the Invitational, finished 3rd overall out of 185 teams. Man, that was, when I saw you get to lift that big trophy up, I was like, man, I want one of them one day. You know, one day I'm going to get on the right tables to get there. So, but congratulations.
Thank you very much. I've been cooking with my buddy Kyle from You're Behind Barbecue and Justin from Steel City as YSB Barbecue. And we've done a few this year. We were fortunate to do very well. GC a couple comps and get the Invitational. And then also in a couple of weeks we'll be headed to Jack as YSB Barbecue. So it's been awesome with those guys. And I've been doing it so long by myself that it's fun to just expand, and we all work together very well, and it's just an awesome team. And those guys are phenomenal to work with.
Yeah, it's great. So do y'all each have, I know you're a chicken guru, obviously. I mean, golly.
They stick trim and chicken for me.
Yeah, so do you do like chicken? Does another one do pork? Another one, how does that work?
We all kind of have a meat that we focus on, and yes, definitely chicken's my thing. Kyle focuses on ribs, and Justin focuses on brisket, and me and Justin kind of tag team pork. But at the end of the day, we are all 3 tasting everything. We're all 3 touching. We're all 3 feeling what's tender. We're all 3 working together to put the right pieces of meat in the box. And I think that's more important than anything else. Whether we're focusing on meat, we're all 3 working and making sure that, like I said, putting those right pieces in the box.
Yeah, that's important, no doubt. Well, Corey, you had quite an adventure even getting to the Royal. So let's talk about your journey to the American Royal and a little bit about it, and then we'll listen to what Sterling has to say. So, typically about a 12-hour trip for you turned into, a little bit longer than that. So tell us a little bit about your journey there, your focus. I know you was even telling me it was at a point you thought you was going to turn around and go home. So
not to get all sappy, but our goal rolling out of town to go to a contest is to make it back, at the end of the weekend. But we had a blowout going through Oklahoma, and just in a part of Oklahoma that really is there's not much service there as far as people that can work on those big 40-foot diesel pusher motorhomes. And when the tire blew, it actually came through the battery compartment, knocked out a bunch of the electrical, and so we had some fuses that I'm laughing because I'm looking over there at the table. Dad ordered 20 of them. We needed one. So he's got 20 extras now.
It won't happen again, will it?
Yeah, but just by the grace of God, I called probably 4 or 5 RV repair places looking for these fuses. No one had any in stock within 100, 120 miles, and a guy happened to stop by and said, "You know what? I've got a buddy that can fix anything." And so he gave us his phone number, and we called him, and it's actually a new business there out of Davis, Oklahoma area, Jones Family Trucking, and those guys were on top of it. They came, hooked us up. We got the tire changed, which that was a whole ordeal. Also just finding someone to change the tire, but that got us power back to the coach, but we didn't have power back to the all the engine, the cranking components. So probably another hour and a half, 2 hours of trying to find a pinched wire or something. We finally said, "You know what? Call the tow truck. We're done." Then we couldn't find anyone to tow us.
Oh gosh!
It was just probably six and a half hours of side of I-35, just kind of stranded, and just going through wiring diagrams online. I saw where everything kind of came together in a box, and we just had to find the box, and we did. Had a bunch of relays popped out, so we were kind of lucky. Got all the relays back in and cranked up, and we didn't stop until we got to the speedway. It was like, we're not stopping again. So
yeah. Wow. Sitting there burning up on the side of the road. Yeah, no air conditioning, no nothing.
Nothing, yeah. And, the friends right there in Oklahoma area, I just can't say enough about them, because I had people. I called probably 40 people, and I know they called probably another 40 each. I think at one point Travis Clark was ready to drive down there, 75 miles with the tow strap and try to tow us with his truck. Get us off the side of I-35. So
wow.
It was pretty interesting.
Wow. Well, people are saying there's a really bad echo. Not sure. Is it an echo on my end, or is it an echo on Corey's end?
I think Corey's.
Is it on Corey's end?
I'm not getting an echo when you're talking.
Okay.
But I'm getting an echo when Sterling's talking, and myself.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. Well, we'll try to get through it. It's all we can do. It's live, right? Well, you did make it, and you got there, and echo on Corey's. Yeah, I hear a little bit of feedback. So,
I can. Here, let me try to take these. Here, you keep going.
All right. Tell him to hit mute. Anyway, yeah. So, Corey, if you want to, maybe kick out and come back in. Your screen is kind of froze up. You want to log out and come back in?
Is that better?
I think a little bit.
Go ahead and talk. Let's see if that's a little better.
What do you want to talk about?
It sounds good.
Maybe not.
Yeah, it's still got a little bit. Anyway, no, it's not any better. We'll try to log out and then pop back in, and I'll talk to Sterling real quick. Let's see if that fixes it.
Throw a voice filter.
So, yep. Well, Smitty, let's talk about your trip. I know you had a pretty good drive yourself from Arizona to Kansas City. How far a trip is that for you?
Oh, it's way too long.
Way too long, yeah. I know what you mean.
I borrowed my neighbor's 40-foot diesel pusher, and then we had my buddy Kyle's 20-foot trailer behind that. So I'm pulling that from Scottsdale all the way to Kansas City. I'm pretty sure I got carpal tunnel syndrome from it. It's just white knuckle.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is there's always something. And we got there, we drove through a hurricane, a blizzard, cyclone, all kind of stuff. Get there on the grounds, and I'm ready to back the trailer in, jackknife the trailer, and hit the back of it. Luckily, it wasn't too bad. But we got it into place, got home safe, and, there's always something. You win those big checks, and I go back right into fixing the shit you broke.
Yeah, always something.
It's always something.
Always something. Wow. Corey, let's try it again. See if you got it.
It's still echoing with Sterling talking.
Yeah.
We can hear it with you too, buddy.
Yeah. I don't know
hey,
what's
Mike,
going on.
try muting real.
Me?
Yeah. Let's see. Is that better? Can you hear me, Sterling?
Yeah, I think that's better, actually.
Is that better? I think we're coming through your speakers through your mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It could be that's what it is. So
you're going to have to be active now.
yeah, I'm going to have to turn on. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to kill. So they said yes, that's better. So let's see. Yeah. Let's see my speaker. I'm going to turn my speakers down. All right, let's try it now.
Is that better?
Is that better?
No, that sounds good.
All right, I can barely hear you guys. You need earphones. You know what? Hold on one second. I don't have my earphones in. That's the problem.
Oh man.
This is a second tier production right here, Corey.
Hey, but we provide some first tier content.
I forgot all about my earphones.
Second tier production.
Oh, goodness gracious alive. Let's get this fixed now. I got a feeling this may work out a little bit better. I didn't even grab my earphones. We're probably going to take care of everything. Such better. All right. Now we should be in good shape.
There we go.
There we go. We don't have the echo feeding through. All right. So let's get back into it. And let's see. Much better. Everybody says much better. So James wants to know where do you live at in Arizona?
I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, and Justin lives in Queen Creek, which is on the far southeast side, and Kyle lives on the far west side in Whitedale, Arizona. So we all kind of live, within each of us, we're an hour and change apart, even though we live in the same city. But we all met through barbecue. On the Arizona barbecue circuit.
There you go. All right, so kind of let's.
I travel a lot. I love traveling.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're traveling everywhere. Every time I turn around, you're running around everywhere. So James said he used to live in Queen Creek. So.
Yeah, awesome. Man.
All right, so let's kind of dive in and go in through a little bit. Corey, you finally show up at the American Royal. I know we kind of got sidetracked. We're trying to get all this echo out, but we're good to go now. So you finally get there. You're probably freaking exhausted at this point. Yeah. And, what was your mindset coming in? I mean,
I don't know if it's just me, but usually when I roll into the Royal, I'm pretty anxious. I'm ready for Saturday morning to light the pits, to inject meat, to season meat, all the things. I'm ready to get going. And I think I just felt so relieved to be there that I didn't have that stress, that anxiety was not there. So I really feel like, I haven't cooked since June. I looked back. I think it was June 5th was my last contest before the Royal. And, I haven't cooked in a while. And that anxiety of, my timelines might be in a little off, I've cooked quite enough that I should be pretty close, be able to sit out a few months and come back in. But it's also, it's the biggest stage of barbecue. You roll into that rusty, like you might as well stay at home. Right. So, so I just focused on having a good weekend and, it's at the end of the day, it's the American Royal. Like it's, the results, take it with a grain of salt. I went from a 180 brisket on day one to middle of the pack day two, 290th.
299. Yeah, it's crazy.
Man, I think I sent you the photos. They look identical.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty much identical.
Yeah, so it's just one of them deals. You got to land on the good tables. That's what it all boils down to. But you did tell me that you thought you had a really good shot when you hadn't been called yet. You was like, if I landed on a good table, that brisket's going to go across the finish line. So
I knew I had a shot at it, and that's all I can do. So
yeah. So how did it feel when they called Fat Boys Barbecue 180?
It's surreal. I've walked that stage a few times, and it's like it's walking a dream. It's like pinch me is this real kind of feeling. Of course, I'm there doing it with Dad, which makes it a little extra special.
Right.
But and that was he's always held over my head. I think the only category he's won there is brisket. So,
Right.
And I think he's won it 3 times.
Wow.
But he would tell me, you can win chicken and ribs, and it doesn't matter until you win brisket.
Is that what he told you? I love it.
He's just that old Texas guy that brisket.
I love it.
I love it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we were walking up there. And he hugged me and he said, "I guess I can't talk shit about the brisket."
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So you have now won a world champion at the American Royal in chicken, ribs, and brisket. All 3 different categories. Man, that's awesome, Corey. Man, that's a pretty amazing deal right there.
Is.
So tell me what that, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, you hope you're going to get your name called, right? And I'm like, what the heck would it be like to walk up there and get one of those wooden trophies? What does it feel like? You said it's surreal, but like,
yeah, it's hard to and winning grand, I can't even imagine what that feels like.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I sat there. The funny thing is, like, the premonition for that day is, we sat there after brisket turn in, and we were parked next to Fred Robles with Rio Valley, and he wasn't real happy with his brisket that day. And Yachty, actually, she was kind of over in our area for brisket turn in, and she saw our brisket and she got a taste of it. And so we were sitting there before awards, and she said, "You know what, Fred? I think you have a top 3 rib, and Corey, I think you're going to win brisket today." And I was like,
"Wow,
nah."
Wow.
And so we get up there, and he hits a second and rib. And then first brisket, is coming up, and she leans forward and winks at me, and it's like Fat Boys Barbecue. And I was like, why couldn't you have done that with Grand Champion? Why couldn't you
I love it.
Roll that juju over there, But
yeah,
Exactly.
Wow.
She freaking nailed it. So
That is crazy. Dang. Man, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. Well, I know people have already been in your forum, and the first thing is like, okay, Corey, what have you changed in your recipes and what you cooked? And, one of the things about it, you was on just straight up like, everything in the class, I added a little extra of this one rub, and that was it, and you hit, and I know that's what it was, because you had told me, you went more with your all-purpose rub. It's your rub. Well, you said I backed off one and I put that on it. It was the only change I made from the class, and you've been doing that leading up to it. And you said you think it's just that rub just works so good on brisket. And I thought that was awesome that you guys are still willing to help these guys that have taken your class, and Ricky Bocagrong and all these other guys. They've taken your class. They've done so well. You've helped so many people in Texas, especially in IBCA. I can't even count how many people have taken your class. But man, congratulations on a freaking awesome weekend. Yeah, awesome, and you finished 7th overall in the invitation?
Yeah, 7th overall.
7th overall in the invitation. That is awesome. Yeah. Well, Mr. Smitty, let's talk a little bit about your run, man. YSB got together. You had the 3 guys. Y'all went after it, duked it out. I know you. Did you cook chicken legs? That's all I want to know.
Absolutely.
Of course you did.
We have a saying within the boys, and it's follow the system. The system's there. We know the system. It works. So
right.
Just follow the system, and if they'll tell you if the system doesn't work. And legs have been working in the system, so that's what we run.
Yeah.
And we tell a lot of people that take our barbecue classes is, that's what it's about, is the system or the technique or the process. And rubs are rubs and sauces are sauces, and those are very interchangeable. But the reason and the why we're doing something in that process or technique that's really what you need to focus on, because that's going to make you a better pitmaster at the end of the day. Knowing the feel, the touch, what really needs to go in the box, and don't just put stuff in the box because you think it needs to be.
Right.
The meat will tell you. The meat will tell you.
Yeah.
So,
I know you say that a lot in your class. I remember you talking about that. The meat, and y'all are both very, very technical cookers. That's the one thing that I picked up on both of y'all's classes. Very, very technical. And,
barbecue's a science. And taking the smoke and the heat and taking that highly intramuscular fat piece of meat, making it so tender that it's not falling apart, but it's right there where it's supposed to be.
Right.
And then it's good balanced flavors of what that protein needs, and accentuates that protein. So, a lot of that is what we teach in classes. And like I said, that's going to make somebody a better pitmaster. Not, and I'm sorry if it's your rub, but I mean, I use my rub too, but rubs are so interchangeable, and sauces are so interchangeable that, you want that tenderness and that piece of meat to be just right.
Yeah.
And then, layer flavor on top of that. But that's what we've been running this whole system since we started. Our first comp together was in Humble, Texas. We went out for that KCBS comp. We took 3rd overall there. Then we rolled into Shawnee. I think we did pretty well there, 3rd overall. GC, the couple out here. We got the Jack Draw, the Invitational. And we've been running the system. We've been following it. And for the Invitational, I actually ran chicken legs, but I actually threw some wings in that box too. I wanted to test out my Jack box because I know we need to put white meat. So threw some wings in there just to, I probably shouldn't have, but I did. And it was still a 170 something chicken. The score was still where I needed it to be. And then 14th in ribs, and it was like I think a taste score away from a 180. 3rd in pork, which was an appearance score away from 180. And then our brisket was right in there. I'm not sure.
Wow.
172, 3, 4, something like that.
Wow.
But we talked to the boys about base hits and getting that score and getting that. The score is kind of paramount for the overall success, and we kind of focus on that score and where we need to be to place. And I guess there's a lot of metrics behind it and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's good barbecue. And something like the American Royal. I mean, you got to cross your fingers. You got to
it's a crapshoot.
Right day with the right judge who likes that specific profile that you gave them. But at the end of the day, if you look at who's placing in those top 10s, top 20s, it's the guys who do it a lot, the guys who are consistent, who are out there on the circuit that are putting in the time, putting in the work, putting in the energy. And with anything in life, the more you do of that, the better and more successful you're going to be.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice. It really, really is. And you bring up something. The first thing everybody wants to know, the question in Corey is like, what did you? What recipe do you know? It's so much more than a recipe, and that's what people I think don't understand. And I'll think back to what John Lindsay told me one time, and he kind of said, I don't remember if it was in his forum, in his private message board, but he made something that was really an interesting point. In steak, you get judged on appearance, texture, taste, and doneness. And everybody is so focused on taste, like the rub, this, that. But they're not focusing on the technique of appearance, texture, and doneness.
Making it tender.
That to me is the most. I mean, he said that's one score that they're so worried about, but they're not focusing on the other 3. And when you was saying what you did, and I know Corey's very technical, I know you're very technical, and you just brought that out, that you're so worried about the recipe that it don't matter what you put on it. If you can't cook it right, the feel, the touch, the texture,
knowing the doneness,
knowing that if you miss that,
don't matter what rub you put.
It doesn't matter what you do. Right. I mean, you're out in left field. So
I think what's really cool about these classes and watching it with me and other pitmasters is you're there with us, so you get to ask us questions that the person who's watching is probably right on their mind. Why did he do that, or why is he going to do this? And you're, Smitty or Corey, tell me why you did that process, or why you did this step, or why are you doing this? And that's very important, especially to have something in a recorded session where you can go back and listen to it over and over. Because to me, I mean, you can tell me something once and it's in and out.
Gone.
It is. It's just I need repetition, and to have that available for something like BBQ Champs Academy, where you can just rinse and repeat, watch it again and again and again, and get those techniques down and get the processes. It's something that it sets BBQ Champs apart from what other people are doing. So that's great feedback, because that's what people tell me all the time. The question I was wanting you to ask him the question, I was wanting, and then you ask that question. I have people tell me that all the time, you was reading my mind as I'm sitting here listening at this, I'm so wanting to, and then you ask that question, because I come off as a dummy, but I wanted to come off as a dummy, right? Because I want to ask these questions, if I come in like I know it all, then I'm not going to ask the question. So I'm trying to, I'm trying to get the information, and I think that's what's helped
so many people be successful, whether it's the steak stuff, which has just exploded, and the barbecue stuff. More and more people are actually starting to come out now that said, I took Corey's class, I took Sterling's class, I took Lee's this, that. I mean, we got a guy coming on next week, Paul Holden, took Lee Hickles' class. He had his first 180. He took Lee Hickles' class like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Wow. And he had a first ever 180. And, he gave Lee a shout out, and we got more and more people that's doing this. So it is pretty cool.
The information that we're given is real-time information. It's barbecue information. It's breaking it down. It's making it, and even though we all have our different ways and process of doing it, we still get there in the end result, and it's really cool to see those different ways. And I myself have taken, Matt Overson's steak class, and a lot of these guys. I've taken John Lindsay's steak class. I've taken some of these classes as well because it's only going to make me better as a chef. That's it. Learning these different techniques as well.
Yeah, it's like with any industry, continuing education, something that you got to do.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to take a Corey Mike's brisket class.
Well, we were talking about I might be taking a Smitty pork butt.
I said quid pro quo. Let's do it.
There you go. Well, Rick Manzi brings up something really unique. Technique, process, and build muscle memory equals consistency. I'd have to agree 100%. I know especially the steak cookers are real big into that. I watched Terry Rohn cook, and I gave him the nickname when we was doing Clash of the Titans. He was so smooth. He was so slick, and I gave him the nickname Iceman. I was like, you remind me of Top Gun, Iceman. I mean, nothing rattles you. Everything is just fluid, boom, boom, boom. You look like a robot. And like everybody, you're so focused, and it's amazing to watch the steak cookers because it's a little shorter cook process, but just to watch those that are focused and lasered and knowing everything, it's a quick cook compared to what we're doing in barbecue. So,
well, what you said there when you said it's like robotic, I explain this to people sometimes when you kind of get into that, half an hour before chicken turn into your last turn in. To me, it's almost robotic. It's I get into it almost like a zone where I just go into a whole other level. It seems like, and just get into the system. You build up muscle memory. It's robotic. You do this. At the certain times it should be done. But if you control that process up until that point, then it's easy to get in that robot zone. But it's all about controlling the process up until that point, and fixing things as you move forward and progress. Yeah. If you wait till the end, it's just a hot mess.
Yeah.
I've had the experience in the past where I started struggling on brisket. This is probably 3-4 years ago, and I just stopped what I was doing. I mean, I didn't completely trash my technique, my recipe, but I took a lot of it off. I cut my rubs in half, and basically made it where I could win or lose that contest on the board because if you get to the end of your cook and it's gone, you can't save it. But if it's something you can, so I get in that robotic. It's everything that hits that board. I taste. I taste multiple slices of that brisket throughout it, pork butt. It's all about, to me, the mouthfeel and really if it needs some pop, if being able to add it, and because you can't take it away.
Yeah. Well, James asked the question: do y'all dust your brisket when you put it in the box?
I wouldn't. I don't dust it in the box, but if it needs it, it's on the board. It'll get it.
Okay.
I'm the same way. I put it might be salt. Dust on the
it might
on the
be
board
salt.
than in the box.
If I think it's got enough salt but needs some pop, it might be a little MSG. It might be a little ground up rub. It just depends on what the brisket tastes like. It's and that's something that's hard to teach. Yep, that's right.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and you brought up something like, you get into that zone of, it's time. It's that 30-minute window, boom, 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 boom. And, the first one I did was in 2017 at the Royal, and I was so freaking nervous. I never had cooked one, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I had a guy help me, the guy that was preaching at our congregation at that time. He went up there with me, and I had a table set up behind me, so I had an extra table. I was like, I know if I got tables, I'm good. And I was so nervous about making my turn-in times, and it felt like it was just coming down to crunch time. And the one thing that I felt like this time, because I had seen how you guys do it, right? And I didn't do any practice. Lee Hickle said, "You've got to go practice." I was like, "I ain't practicing. I didn't even want to practice chicken." I was like, "I hate stupid chickens. I don't even want to You got to go at least practice your chicken. You can do brisket and pork and ribs and blah, blah, blah." I was like, all right. So I did one chicken practice. That was it. But when it came down to it, at least after seeing how you guys, get everything done and knowing the process a little bit more, when I went in 2017, I had only been cooking 2 years. I felt a lot more comfortable, like, okay, just as long as I get my chicken in the box now, and I had timeline, chicken in the box, 11:45, boom, and I automatically already had my ribs out, I sauced them, and I felt a lot more comfortable, like, seeing how y'all cut them. And so to me, BBQ Champs, y'all's classes helped me on the techniques of, like, how you go about cutting them and putting them in the box. And my brisket, I really wasn't worried about. My pork butt, I just did money muscles. That's all I did. I turned in nothing but money muscles, and that's what I was good at. I didn't practice. I didn't practice on. I've seen all the videos of you guys turning in bacon. I love the bacon. It's great, but I hadn't practiced it to get comfortable enough to pulling it and not running out of time. And I was like, how does these guys get all that stuff done in 30 minutes where they pull it and they get the bacon, they scrape the fat, they do this, and I was like, screw that, I'm doing money muscle. I can do that. But, I think but as you do it more and more, the second day, I was like waiting, but I know they gave us an extra 15 minutes. Yeah. But I was sitting there like, man, that 15 minutes felt like an eternity. And I was like, man, I'm ready to go. I felt more comfortable. So I think you're right. As you do it more and more, you will feel a lot more comfortable with it.
And I used to for sure take, like, I'd get my rib box out and Dad would walk it for me, and I would go straight into pork, and it would take me like every minute to get that pork boxed, and I'd be turning it in on the back end of the window. And then I got to where I'd be getting my pork slice done. I look at the clock and it's, 12:43. It's like, man, I'm 12 minutes to the window opening, and this is a short walk. Like, what am I doing? I can slow down a little bit.
Wow.
But you get on the throttle, and it's like you want to go. And so that's just kind of tweaking your process as you build that muscle memory.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Pork is my longest box to get right, because obviously you're picking the right pieces. If you're using bacon, you're taking those fat layers off, and you're filling it, you're finishing it, you're saucing it, you're slicing it, you're putting it in the box. A lot goes into pork, and the other three are pretty much like rinse and repeat. But pork is one of those boxes and what you said earlier, Corey, was and Mike, was getting the right pieces and feeling and touching and tasting,
right,
and not just putting in the box what you think needs to go in the box. Just because you see people with pictures of pulled and their money muscle doesn't mean you have to do that. Put the right pieces in the box, feel them and touch them. And we've ran money muscle slices just alone a few times, and it's done well.
Yeah.
I ran a box. I don't think I took a picture of it because I was pretty upset, and it ended up scoring pretty well. But I think I had 4 money muscles that day, and I had one that was the only one worth turning in, and I could only get 5 good slices out of it. So I actually ended up cubing it,
right,
and turning in pulled and cubed money muscle.
Yeah.
And no sliced money muscle. And, it saved I don't think I won that cook-off, but it saved the cook. It just,
right.
I just needed it just good enough. Yep.
Right. Got you across the finish line. That's pretty awesome. Hey, if anybody out there, we got 40 people listening to this. If anybody's got any questions for these guys, now's a great time to pick their mind. I mean, they're world champions.
I got a question for Smitty. It's burning question here.
All right, here we go.
So you're doing a pork box, right? And you got three different. You turn in pulled, sliced, cubed, whatever. Are you finishing all of those the same? Are you tweaking your flavors amongst them?
If I turn in multiple pieces.
Yeah, I'm leaning in.
If I turn in multiple cuts, say a money muscle slice chunk is basically cut of money muscle. Right. I kind of finish the same. The pulled will get a little bit more seasoning within it. I'm going to taste it. It's all about that taste.
Sure. So, of course.
To me, if that pulled, that belly, it doesn't, like, if you don't put it in your mouth, I'm like, damn, that's going in the box. It's not going to go in the box. Even I could put so much MSG and popcorn salt on it that it's not going to make it, that's going in the box. It'll make it a little bit better, but it's not. It's got to wow me right away. But
the texture's got to be right.
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes it could be stringy and it could be mushy. I mean, a lot goes into making it perfect. But once it goes in the box, I'm going to put a finishing dust or seasoning on it, and it's going to get the same. It will get the same money muscle and pulled will get the same finishing dust, absolutely. And I've used everything, like you said, from MSG, some accents. I've used popcorn salt. I've used homemade, take some everything rub and a little bit of this and some of that and grind it up in a thumb grinder. And
make it taste
I've
good.
used all that stuff before. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just to give it a little pop, an extra something. Obviously,
write these notes down. I didn't do any of that.
Barbecue. It's that one bite barbecue. It's one bite barbecue. So it's got to not only just be tender and flavorful. It's got to say, I got some pop here. There's something going on. It's not just a wash with everything else that everybody's turning in. So I think after you tasted it, I will give it another something. And to me, I love salt. And if I look at the judges, a lot of them are older. And as you get older, you need more flavor, more salt, more pepper, more spice.
I think also the further in the day you get with that pork and brisket, they start getting tongue fatigue.
It's washed.
You got to have a pop. Yep.
Yeah, 100%. If you don't give them some flavor in that pork, and everything's going to taste the same.
That's some good stuff.
At the end of the day, like you said, when it's on that table, we're slicing it, we're cutting it, we're tasting it. That's that point where we're going to say, okay, let's make it better, or bro, it's ready to ride.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's some good feedback. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. So, all right. So Timothy wants to know, how many pork butts do you cook at a contest?
I usually do. Go ahead.
You go ahead. You first. Okay. You're the pork guy here.
I usually cook. I try to get 4, and so I'll trim to the KCBS minimum, where I'm, getting that money muscle out, saving that belly, the usable pieces. What I'm looking when I'm trimming is pieces that I'm going to end up turning into the box, and stuff that I'm not going to. I don't need it, but I get it to that KCBS minimum, whatever we need. And so usually on the drum, and the way I position them, I cook them on a gateway drum. 4 fit the way that I do it, the way that I trim perfectly, kind of rounded. So I kind of think of not only the right pieces, I think of how they're going to fit on my grill for airflow, for consistency and all that. And to me, kind of less is more. I ran with 9 legs each, American Royal. 3 racks of ribs, 4 butts, and 1 brisket. And to me, the less I can manage, I can get that right without having too much. My processes are pretty fast, and I don't have a lot of time in there to be wrapping multiple briskets, multiple butts, multiple things, and cameraing and holding. Before with the boys, I was really a one-man team, so I had to think about timeline. And so I kind of make everything compact a little bit. And to me, it's focusing on getting those pieces right. And if I can do that, I don't need 75 thighs. And,
Sarah, I'm with you. I think I was only going to cook 12 thighs. Lee was screaming at me, "You got to cook more than 12." I said, "Man, I cooked 10 the first time." I was like, I had 2 on each end. I had my 6 in the middle. It was going to be my turn in. I only need 6, and I had them right in the middle. And he was like, "You got to cook more." And I was like, "I'll cook 12." He said, "You got to cook 16." I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to be here forever trimming thigh." But I'm kind of like you. Like if I've only got I've only got 3 racks of ribs, that's all I'm cooking. I got to focus on making those perfect,
If they're nice, they're thick, they're bomb, they're intramuscular fat, I don't need another one. Just throw them. I'm not going to turn in. No, I'm not going to turn in that. Why waste everything? Why waste the time, energy, space?
What do you cook, Corey?
Pork, so I like to have a minimum of 3 that I like. If I have 3 that I know, these money muscles are good, I got good fat caps, I got good marbling, I'll roll 3 and not fret about it. Yeah. But if I've got one that I'm like, it's not too great, I'll run a 4th one.
Okay.
So I'm a 3 or 4 pork butt. And I'm the same way with ribs. If I've got 3 that I'm like, these are going to be my 3, and then I got a 4th one that's lesser, I'm not going to cook it.
Yeah, there's no need.
But
how about briskets? How many briskets you run?
One brisket, always just one.
Yeah.
You separate that point in that flat.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah.
You'll see it in the video.
I love it. I love it. Ain't that great?
Tomorrow.
That is so awesome. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Blake wants to know if you got any tips on building a box. I can tell you this, in both of their classes, they show you exactly how they build them boxes. So, IBCA, there's not a whole lot of box building for IBCA. Just drop it in it and make it look pretty. So,
and I don't fret too much about KCBS boxes either. I like it's kale. It is what it is. I like to make a picture frame, get it nice and even, but I built all 10 boxes in I think about an hour up there.
Yeah. We're the same way. We use kale on everything. I think kale
is so
nice
easy.
and sturdy. You can adjust the height level. I like to make chicken boxes a little lower.
Sure.
At the top. Certain ones I'll build up higher to give the meat like a presentation.
Meat up.
So kale to me is easy, and like you said, IBCA
pretty easy.
Make it glossy and shiny.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of IBCA though, so.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. Actually, some of the guys that I've seen their boxes and they win with, their boxes to me don't look too great, and that's probably because just KCBS, just focusing so much on the appearance too. But, I'll go cook against them, and they'll remind me that they're the IBCA kings, and put me in my place. But come on over. Come on, join us over here. I'll cook your stuff, and you come join me. So, but I think the judges are going to eat with their eyes first, so just make it look good. You can throw a 6-bone box, 8-bone box. I ran a 10-bone box on Sunday, the open. But for IBCA, just I'd try to make it look pretty. With what you can do.
Okay,
Corey's right. I mean, we spend this time and energy to cook it and make it tender and look good. And you want to spend. To me, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time working on that box and making it right, because all these judges get a few seconds to judge your over a decade of experience of cooking competition.
I'm gonna tell you.
3 seconds. So to me, make it pretty, make it nice, make them say, "I want to eat that." Oh, that looks so good. I want to eat it right now.
I'm going to tell you just like a little 10-second preview into my mind, and probably I overthink this stuff, but I think if you build a box too pretty in KCBS, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Sometimes it could be. Sometimes it feels like that.
Yeah.
Because I think if you have a box that's perfect and a box that's just good enough for a 9 in appearance, and the flavors are the same, I think it's easier to give that one that's just good enough for a 9, a 9 in flavor. Whereas you look at that perfect box, you're like, man, this is going to wow me. And then it's the same old.
It's not there, it lets you down.
And it might be there. It's just they're thinking, man, this is going to be so much special. Did I lose y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's already in their head.
And
I use the phrase with the boys. It's called dumb it down. We need to dumb it down a little bit. And so from the invitational to the open, we did a thing called dumbing it down a little bit.
Yeah, you got to there.
Throw some basic stuff at them.
Yeah,
but we all know at the end of the day, make it tender and
make it good. Yeah,
right.
So Gordon wants to know, what brand and grade of briskets did y'all run? Corey, you go first.
I've been cooking Snake River Golds for probably 3.5 years. Pretty exclusive. It's a consistent product. I like their customer support. I think I've had one issue with one brisket I received that had a knife gouge through the flat, and they made it right for me. So I've never had a bad experience. It's and I know what I'm cooking each time I get one.
Right.
So
exactly.
Sterling? Go ahead.
I'm the same. I've been running Snake Golds. I try to get 18 to 20. If I can get the bigger ones, then I'll run the bigger ones. But to me, if Corey's cooking that, then I have to cook that. Everybody's out there cooking the best of the best meat. The stuff that's just off. You taste it, it's good stuff. Yeah. So to me, if I want to compete and stay on that same level playing field, then I have to cook with the best of the best on there. And likewise with Corey, I worked with Anella for several years. It's a great company. They've always had a consistent product. I like the thickness of those briskets, the flavors, and the intramuscular fat's pretty consistent. So we know what we're going to cook. And, that's the part of competition barbecue is, all these little facets and things. And if we can make one thing consistent, it's just one less thing we have to worry about. And cooking that same brisket over and over and over, feel it, getting the touch, getting the feel, getting to know it. At this elevation, this brisket's going to feel like this, and it's going to tap out here, or this elevation is going to be like that. And if you keep switching briskets and elevations and where you cook, it's hard to track that, and it's hard to get that feel and that touch and know kind of where you're going to be.
Where you're at.
So a lot of that goes into it, and consistency is huge. And I've been playing around too with Tim Shear's, the Marble Ridge Farms briskets. Those are phenomenal meat. The flavor is just so, I think it's almost too good. It's almost like you got to dumb it down. Those briskets are just like butter. I mean, you taste them; it's different. It's a different flavor.
Right.
So I like to run Snake River Farms as well.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's some interesting stuff. Well, Sterling, I know Smitty. I don't know what I keep calling. I know Sterling, Smitty. You go, Bobo. Call me anything. Call me Champ. Right. So, let's talk a little bit about this. Let's talk about that cookbook that you just got through rolling out. So,
yeah, how about that? Look at that.
So, tell me a little bit about this complete cookbook.
Oh yeah, so I got reached out to at the beginning of the year, and they were looking for somebody to put together a cookbook through this publishing company, and going back and forth with them, and it was a good time. They actually reached out to me a couple of years ago on another project they had, and at the time it wasn't right. They wanted me to do something with a different kind of smoker that I didn't use and I didn't know. And if I was going to write about something, I didn't want to just push something out there on something I didn't know. So this opportunity came at the right time. And it's basically, I tell people, it's almost like, I've taught over 100 barbecue classes, in person, online, several more. But when I started writing that book, I didn't really know where to start. And so I kind of did an introduction on my first foray into barbecue and how I got into it. And at the end, it was almost like I was teaching a barbecue class, because I answered questions that people ask, everything from, how to know how long do I cook it? Number one thing I get asked at classes is how long do I cook it? And I always answer until it's done.
Until it's done.
We got to know when it's done. Right. So writing that book, it was an awesome opportunity to kind of put my barbecue class and the words and the techniques into play into barbecue and the kind of things they're working for. And then the recipes are a lot of my favorite recipes. The cool thing is I get to work with several other chefs and pitmasters and collaborate with some of them. And Kyle from You're Behind has this bacon wrap wing recipe in the book, and Fergalicious has a recipe, and Mike and Christina from Sugar Fire, and a local chef, Don Ruggiero, who I've done GFG videos with, he's got a recipe in the book. So I get to collaborate with some of those guys and put my favorite recipes from them, as well as some of mine in the book. But to me, it was that process of kind of putting on paper a barbecue class. And that's really what I'm proud of in this book, is really to talk about the process of barbecue.
Where can you buy that?
To the meats. Yeah, listening and touching and feeling and being engaged in the cook. That's kind of, to me, it's barbecue and making yourself better.
Where can you buy?
Yeah, I'm super excited. So right now it's on pre-order.
Okay.
On pre-order on Amazon.
Okay, hold it up again. Hold it up. Let us get the name. Complete Barbecue Cookbook. Okay.
Absolutely. Expert advice and foolproof recipes for barbecue greatness.
Yeah, Go hit up Sterling Smith up. Go to Amazon, write a review. You can pre-order it. I know he appreciates some reviews. So
100%, I would appreciate that a lot. And I will have them available, signed copies on my website probably in the next 3 weeks or so.
Cool.
But it was just an exciting opportunity to be able to be an author. When I started cooking over a decade ago, I never thought I'd be writing cookbooks or walking the stage with Fat Boys Barbecue, the American Royal, and competing with some of these amazing teams at the Jack Daniels. It was like a dream. It was a fantasy. But, hard work, dedication, get it right, and anybody can get there. You just got to put it with love.
Yeah, you definitely did, man. You had a great cook. 3rd overall at the Invitational, man. That was awesome to watch you lift up that trophy. And I know you and your team. Yeah, you and your team. I know that had to be great for y'all. First time team, and it's probably the first time they've ever got a chance to walk the stage at the Royal. So
it was actually both of their first times competing at the American.
Oh, how awesome is that?
I've been there. Yeah, they've had.
Yeah, you've run it for them now. So.
Oh yeah, they're going back every year. They're gonna expect more every year. Those guys, those divas.
Yeah.
What year was it that you reserved it? Your other year, was it 2013?
Reserve. 2014 was my first year.
2014.
2014 was the first year at the American Royal. 14 in the Invitational, I was first in chicken with the perfect 180, 7th ribs, and then the Open. Second in pork, 19 Nebraska Reserve Grand Champion.
That Reserve in the Open. Wow.
Second place in ribs in 2017. Yeah,
I think that was my first year at the Royal.
But the last year at the lower bottom, so the west bottoms.
Because I remember watching. I remember watching you win all that crap, and I'm like, son of a bitch,
it was crazy.
Who's this guy?
It was crazy, man. It was phenomenal.
That's awesome.
But to be able to have that span from 14 to now, and to still be able to walk the stage in the Invitational with third overall with a 7-0.
Absolutely.
We had 7-4 or something. And having Kyle and Justin there, you know, experiencing the Royal for the first time, it was just an amazing experience for those guys. And you know what? In 2 weeks, we're going to be at the Jack, and hopefully we'll have another amazing experience there.
Man, good luck. Go knock it out. I hope the best for you guys. So
thank you guys.
All right. Any closing thoughts, Sterling?
You know, I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you, Mike, for the opportunity for BBQ Champs Academy. You know, to me, I love spreading knowledge and information and helping people get better. And I think that's what we do with these barbecue classes. And with my book, hopefully you read it and it makes you a better cook. Yep. And I thank you guys for everything. And, you know, we have a lot more to come this weekend. I'll be at Q in the Lou with the Green Mountain Grills demo stage. The Jack's coming up, World Food Championships, the KCBS World Championships in Shawnee. You know, a lot's starting to happen right now, and we're going to ride this wave until it crashes. And,
heck yeah, man. You're on top of it. Keep going. It just goes to show, man, if you cook good and, you know, you did all that in 2014, here it is 2021, 7 years later, and you're still killing it. You know, you're just a great cook, and congratulations to you. Absolutely, man. So
I'm going to be better after I take this brisket class.
There you go. All right, Corey, any final thoughts, buddy?
No, I just kind of echo what he said about helping people. You know, I haven't cooked much in the last year, and I think what's kind of kept me going and what's kept me engaged is watching guys that, you know, take my class and go out and kick butt with it. You know, I get pictures of trophies and, you know, built new friendships all over the country, you know, and barbecue's just been super good to me and my family, and just, you know, really blessed. So I'm the same way, you know, I'm going to ride this wave as long as I can, you know, and you know,
well, y'all are both young enough that y'all can do it for many years, no doubt. So especially Corey. So anyway,
baby face.
Baby face, yeah. Corey, my wife asked, "How old is Corey?" I said, "He's older than you think." So
He got out of high school.
Yeah, he's just a kid.
Graduated.
He just graduated. So
I graduated early too.
That's it. Well, guys, anybody out there on the watching this, you can go to bbqchamps.com. Right on the homepage, it's got our BBQ Pitmasters, 3-time world champion, Mr. Smitty, Luton Booty Barbecue, Corey Mikes, 3-time world champion, including a 2021 first place brisket at the American Royal biggest barbecue competition in the world. He's now had a first place in brisket, ribs, and chicken at the American Royal. A lot of knowledge will be gained from these classes. I promise you they will help put you in the winner's circle, at least get you in top 10 finishes. And to me, that's the consistency. The techniques and the things they teach is absolutely mind-blowing, and the recipes they put along with it will put you over the top. So, guys, congratulations on an absolute amazing weekend at the American Royal. I'm proud of both of y'all. We got some great behind-the-scenes footage of you guys. There it is. There it is, baby. Hold it up, baby. Corey's going, wait a minute. Let me pick any, mini, mighty, mo. Let me grab this one. So
I'll have to get the
I saw him in the background with all those, and
there you go.
Get the newest one. Oh,
there you go. Get it. 2021, baby. There it is. Congratulations, awesome, man. That is awesome.
Congrats, buddy.
So proud of you. And we did get we got a lot of footage behind the scenes with these guys. Our film crew was there, so we got an interview with Corey. We got an interview with Smitty. David Bosca, Lee Hickle, good gracious, who was all there? Mark Lambert, Joey Smith. Did I miss anybody? It was we almost had all the barbecue champ guys
out there. Yeah.
I think he caught me wrapping brisket, and I can't remember if it was the open or the invitational. So
okay, it was probably the invitational. Yeah, that's going to be. Hey, I'll get you that video, Sterling, behind us. We'll see if he's slipping anything. Anyway, I'll get it to you. Well, guys, congratulations! A great year. I hope everybody's enjoyed this show. Sterling, man, go get another world champion at the Jack.
You're going to try, man. Thank you.
Go do your best. Do your best, man.
Thank you very much.
Well, I hope everybody will join us next week. Lord willing, we'll be here at 7 o'clock Central. We're going to have Lee Hickle on here. He has been burning up the KCBS trail and doing great. He came off a reserve grand champion this weekend. And Paul Holder is a guy that bought his class. Paul's got some history with somebody, and I don't know his name. Corey might know, Willingham or something. Mike Willingham, he was a guru in the barbecue KCBS stuff, won multiple world champions. And I think Paul either took over I think he passed away and Paul took over the company. I remember Lee just kind of giving me a rough stuff on it. John Whittingham. Okay. Somebody just put up John. I don't know if you know it.
Real quick.
Huh?
From the Rub Willinghams?
Willingham. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so it's John Willingham.
It's been around for a while.
Yeah, it's been around, and this guy's won a multiple world champions, if I recall. I only talked to Lee for a few minutes, and I talked to Paul, and yes, sir. So is this John that we're talking to? We got Whittingham. Yes.
There we go.
Maybe this is it. So I don't know. I don't know all the details, but I can tell you this: you join us next week at 7:00 Central Time, 8:00 Eastern. We'll have Paul Holder on here. And yes, it's Paul. Okay, yep. And we'll find out all the story, and it's going to be a fascinating story. Well, obviously we're going to hear some great travels of what Lee Hickle's done in KCBS over the course of these last few years, or this last year in KCBS. It's been an amazing run, and I hope everybody's enjoyed it. Guys, thank you for being on. Sit tight for just a second right afterwards, but we're going to go ahead and get ready to close this out, as we always do. Have a lot of fun, guys, and